today. And 20% of the parents are also there actively on Edmodo. And again, we do wish to state that it's not really mandatory because these are very young children. So we prefer actually that they use the app and they do the quizzes with your supervision. All right, so you may not necessarily need to create a parent account to monitor them remotely because you might be actively monitoring them. They might even be using one of your devices as a parent, all right? So we had 50 people who would have done the ELA assignment, which was a grammar-based assignment based on the topics that Ms. Naila would have covered, all right? And this would have been given last weekend, all right? So, and they would have had a deadline of Sunday night. Okay, we gave these quizzes a day or two later than usual, so we gave them a bit more time to complete it. And 86% of the students have passed the ELA. All right, so we're taking the pass mark at about 50. And we did have students who did way above that, actually, and they brought the average of the ELA assignment in total up to 74%. All right, and of course, mathematics, which tends to be the more dreaded topic, unfortunately, but you know, hopefully we are here to change that. We had 84% of the students passing. We actually had some more attempts in the mathematics this week than we did in the ELA. In previous weeks, it may have been the other way around. And 67% was the average, right? 84% of the students did pass with a mark of 50 or higher. And collectively, as a group, they would have mustered a 67% average. Some students would have even achieved as much as 100% in the task, all right? And we did post over the weekend 3 new assignments on Saturday morning, and we are giving this one a deadline of Thursday, which is when we have our third show for the week, our third live show for the week, and you will have up until just 1 minute to midnight. By the way, that's another topic that we would have covered time in previous sessions. To complete this exercise, we'll do the marking and so on for the assignments that needs to be marked. For example, the creative writing, which is not automatically marked, right? On the Friday and on Saturday, again, we'll give you some more assignments. So keep that in mind. And for those of you who are already members of our Edmodo class, know that the work is already there. It will be based on the content that we have covered last week. And you have basically the majority of this week to get it done. We are on holidays right now, all of our students. Some of you may be attending extra lessons at school in preparation for SEA, but your time for the next week will not be as packed as it usually is. So therefore, you should have ample time to do this, right? And we want to implore more of you to get on board the creative writing exercises, because with the creative writing, as we say, it's about reading to improve your writing skills, and then practicing by writing, okay? So we are giving you an opportunity. Every week it's not going to be an entire story that you might have to write. You may have to write some sentences, a paragraph, and so on, based on the topics that were covered, okay? So well done to all of you who have been participating. Every day we are getting new members, and the numbers doing each quiz has been steadily increasing. All right, and we want to highlight now the students who would have gotten total in the both English and the math assignments, right? So we had a grammar assignment and we had a math assignment, which would have been based on the quarter turns, which was an element of the geometry that we've done so far. And for the second week in a row, we have the student Angelina Andrews getting full marks in her ELA and the mathematics. And then we have a guy who's been knocking at the door and who has been doing quite well, but this time he managed to get total in both in the ELA and in the maths. Sebastian Eccles, congrats to you, sir. And don't worry, we're not going to forget to mention those who would have missed out by just a mark maximum in either one, right? So we have those Zara Ali, Antonia Graham, Jadel Henry, Karima Hussein, Karina Rampasad, Shada Sunarain, and Zakir Yatali. They would have lost a mark maximum in either of the exercises. And then those there at the bottom are those people who had scored very highly in our creative writing exercises. So Shania Martin, Shane Ramjit. Of course, with creative writing, there will always be a little element of subjectivity, but I And myself and Ms. Nyla thought that he was deserving of 100%. And we also have Tyreek Vincent, who was actually one of our top performers in previous weeks, who would have gotten total in the ELA and the math. So congratulations, guys. If your name did not appear on any of our lists this week, that is fine. It's not anything to feel down about, but it is motivation for you to work even harder so that you can get your shout out as well, all right? So continue to work hard, continue to remain focused, to do the exercises. If you feel as though you're not able to do it, right off the bat, you may want to rewatch the episodes. All of them are cataloged on our Facebook page under the videos tab, which is See Results, right? And we are going to be working on, God willing, creating a YouTube page, a YouTube account, because some parents have requested that it'd be better for them to have their kids rewatch on YouTube rather than on Facebook. And we understand this, so we'll do our best to make this possible in a short or in a timely manner. All right? So we were back into the stream of number. All right? We said that there are 4 streams that are being tested in SEA. We have the number, the measurement, the geometry, and the statistics. We've done a little bit of all so far. And last week we would have gone back around into number, and we would have done some work on sequences, right, on number sequences. And we would have also done some work on averages, right? We did work on averages, the mean and the mode, okay? And we do have just a little bit to complete in our number sequences. As a matter of fact, the last time I would have left you all, we had a caller on the line who was trying to battle with a number sequence question, one of the tougher ones that we put out there. And we did actually have a submission over our Edmodo page by a student who could not wait for the next program to give us the right answer. And of course, I'm going to put that up on the screen as well. So the paper, 75 minutes, 45 questions, 3 sections, right? All of the streams are tested in each of the sections, and each subsequent section is each question is worth more marks. The difficulty is amped up a bit, all right? So we're still in section 1, but don't worry. By the grace and the mercy of God, we're going to go through as many questions from as many sections given the time constraints that we do have, all right? But we have to work on the foundation before we get to more difficult stuff, although some of it has been quite challenging, as a matter of fact. So number is the biggest stream, accounts for almost half of the questions on the paper. And last week, as I said, we would have done the averages, which we did in totality, right? We did the mean and we did the mode, and we moved on to number sequences within the number stream. So we said, just as a recap for our first-time viewers, that a sequence contains terms that are related, okay? They follow a particular rule or pattern, and it becomes possible for us to list the subsequent terms in a sequence as long as we've discovered what that rule or that pattern is, all right? And we had some very brave callers who would have called us, and they would have gotten the correct answers to those which were a little more. Some of them were a bit rough, right? Some of them are quite easy. This is one where, one of our callers tried very bravely to get the correct answer. And he said that, you subtracted 60 to get from the 120 to our 60. And then we subtracted 40, and then we subtracted 15, and then he got stumped, all right? Because remember, the rule, it must apply to, if it applies to one pair, it must also apply to the subsequent pair. So if we subtracted 40 here, then we'd have to, 60 here, then we'd also have to be able to subtract 60 here to say that the rule or the pattern is to take away 60. But 60 take away 60 would have given us 0, all right? So then if you want to say take away 40 now, you would have changed the rule altogether, right? Okay. And then in saying take away 15, there's not really any logical sequence or any logical progression from that angle, all right? So it was something else taking place here, and one of our students did identify what was taking place. So from the first term, which was 120, all right, we moved on to the term 60, all right, and he would have deciphered that we actually divided here by 2 to go from 120 to 60, and then we would have divided by 3 to go from 60 to 20, and then what do you think we divide by next to go from 20 to 5? We would have had to have divided by 4, all right, and then the last number in our sequence, we'd have to divide by 1 greater, which is 5, and that would have given us an answer of 1. Okay, so the pattern is to divide, and we are starting from 2, and with each subsequent term, we divide by 1 greater than the last. All right, so we're starting our division at 2, all right, and then for each subsequent term, we're going to divide by adding 1 to the previous number we've divided by. Okay, and that's really a mouthful, but that's the way that we'll have to say it for now. As you go up higher into your mathematics, your journey in mathematics, you'll get fancy ways to state that differently. But for now, we'll have to just be able to tell that we are dividing by 1 number greater, and we are starting at the number 2. Okay, so I have to say congratulations to this. Well, this account on Edmodo is actually under his mom's name, Melissa Teasdale, and she told us that her son's name is Jaden Gustav, and he gave us a nice, detailed, worded reason into his logic as to why the answer was in fact 1. And congratulations to you, Jaden, right? We would have also given you a mention on our Facebook page as well. And with that, we do have just one more sequence to complete, which is taking us into the last thing that I want to do on the number stream before we move back into measurement. All right, so we're doing this thing in cycles. We are not teaching it in the traditional format because we have limited time to work with, and we want to touch as many topics as possible, and so far it's been working. All right, so I'm opening the lines now for anybody who feels that they know what the answer to this number pattern below, the missing term in this number pattern. How did we go from 169 all the way down to 100? All right, so this question kind of presupposes that you know something here about numbers. All right, and if you don't know, well, that's why we're here. We're going to educate you on what it is you need to know. All right, so again, the pattern begins at 169. The second term is 144. We have 121, 100. What's next on the pattern? And we do have a caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello.
Hello. And who am I speaking with this afternoon?
Joshua.
Hey, welcome, Joshua. And do you know what the missing term in this sequence is?
81.
And how did you get that 81, Joshua?
You're going down in squares.
In squares. All right, yeah. Lovely. So I am very proud of you, Joshua. Thank you for that contribution. And that is actually our answer. All right? So, okay, so I'm going to hold up on the calls now because this was our last question on sequences that was left over from last week. But I'm going to have a little discussion with you about the square numbers, all right? Because not everybody gets it, not everybody knows it, all right? So we're going to make sure that everybody is on a level playing field. That is the purpose of our program, to give everyone an equal footing on stepping into this SEA exam, right? Whether you can make it to extra lessons or not, for whatever reason, it's no problem. You are here with us, whether you're watching on the TV, whether you're watching our live stream, whether you're watching after the program has ended, all right? What I've said is that you can pause whenever we have a problem. If you're watching afterwards, try to work it out, and then hit play afterwards, and you'll get the right answer, okay? So as our young caller Joshua has just said, we have a sequence here that is made up of square numbers, and it's descending, it's going down from one square number to the next. All right, 169, 144, 121, 100, and Then lastly, we have the number 81. So the answer here was 81. But we have a bigger question to answer for those of us who are unsure about how we got that, right? We have to know what exactly is a square number. Okay? So when a counting number is multiplied by itself, right, the resulting product is called a square number or a perfect square. What are the counting numbers? The counting numbers are those numbers that we also refer to as natural numbers, all right? When we are counting things generally in real life, we count 1, 2, 3, I have 3 apples, you know, I have 5 pairs of shoes, for example, or whatever it is, you know. It tends to be whole numbers, and we start counting from 1, right? In our everyday life, when we are counting, we don't usually look at the apple and say, I have 1.675 apples, for example, right? We don't do that. So these are the counting numbers. When we multiply them by itself, the product is called a square number or a perfect square, right? And this is what we mean. We have the number 1. Let's look at the first square number. All right, we multiply the number 1 by itself. 1 is a counting number. We multiply it by itself, and we end up with the perfect square of 1. We multiply 2 by itself. We're going to end up with the perfect square of 4. We multiply 3 by itself, and we're going to end up with the perfect square of 9. And if you follow with me on the board, you will notice that each of these numbers can actually be represented by an actual square. All right? So my squares might be a bit crooked, but we do have 4 dots here representing, you know, in the shape of a square. All right? The same can be done with a 3 by 3, right, square for 9. And likewise, we can do the same. You know, we have a 4 by 4 square here for the number 16. And if you were to count up those dots, you would recognize that we do have 16 dots here, right? 4 across and 4 down, right? We have 4 rows of 4 or 16 dots, and this gives us a nice square. All right, so that's one way to think about these square numbers. All right, and so on and so forth. You multiply the remaining counting numbers by themselves, and we're going to end up with these nice perfect squares. And it would do you well as a student to learn these off. All right, so if we looked at the sequence before, right, the sequence would have started at this number here at 169. All right, it started at 169, then it went to 144, 121, 100, and the missing number from our sequence, right, the missing number from our sequence was 81, which is got, right, or attained by multiplying 9 by 9. All right, and the others, 10 by 10 give us the 100, 11 by 11, 121, 12 by 12 give us the 144, and the 13 by the 13 gave us 169, which was the first term in our sequence. All right, so these are our square numbers. Of course, we can continue moving on, 15 by 15, 16 by 16, and so on and so forth, and continue to come up with the rest of the square numbers. All right, I think it's pretty safe to say that in the SCA, they may not really go beyond 14 by 14, but it won't hurt to know it. All right, and if you do see a sequence that has some of these smaller square numbers that you recognize, you can always test and see if the ones that you don't know are also square numbers by multiplying the number by itself, and then we'll know if those other numbers in our pattern or in our sequence were also square numbers. All right, and this is very intricately linked to something called square root. But before we talk about the square root, this is an alternate way that you will see square numbers presented. All right, instead of writing the number 1 times 1, you will see 1 with a little 2 on top to the top right-hand side of our number, right? This does not mean 1 multiplied by 2, all right? That's a very common mistake in all levels of students that I've taught so far. A lot of people have this misconception, all right? And it just happens to work out for 2 squared, right? Which really means 2 multiplied by itself, right? But 3 squared is not 3 multiplied by 2. No, that will give us something totally different, which is 6, all right? And 6 is not the answer that we are looking for. We want to know what is 3 squared. So how do we do that? We multiply the 3 by itself, which would give us 9, okay? So bear this in mind, people. When you see that little 2 to the top right-hand side of a number, it means that we are squaring the number. What do we mean by square the number? We mean we're multiplying the number by itself. We are not multiplying by the number 2, all right? We are multiplying the number by itself. And in one instance, that does actually work out to multiplying by 2, which is 2 squared, but it doesn't work for anything else. Any other number, it means that we are multiplying the number by itself, all right? Think about the 2 as in you're writing down the number twice. You're writing down the number twice and put a little multiply sign in between, like 5 squared, for example. Think of the 2 as writing it down twice, and we are multiplying. And 5 by 5 is going to give us 25, all right? So this is 5 squared, 6 squared, and so on, right? This is the way that we denote it without writing out the whole product, as in 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 or 10 by 10. We put a little 2, top right-hand slot. That means that we are squaring our number, okay? Bear that in mind. And what is a square root now? Linked to our square numbers. So a square root of a number is a number that can be multiplied by itself to give the original number, all right? A number that can be multiplied by itself to give the original number, all right? So we have our square numbers here on the left-hand side of our screen, right? We have our square numbers here, some of them anyway, all right? And this is how we get the square root of these numbers, all right? So these are the square roots of our perfect squares, all right? These are the square roots of our perfect squares here. There are also square roots for numbers that are not perfect squares. You will never be tested on that for SEA, all right? You're only going to be finding the square roots of perfect squares. You will only be expected to know how to find the square roots of numbers that are perfect squares. So again, you have to kind of know these perfect squares off the top, all right? You have to spend some time learning them off. And once you know your 12 times, up to 12 times table, you're going to know the first 12 square numbers just by default, all right? You learn a couple more, 13, 14, maybe 15, and you should be okay there, all right? But just know that they can also bring even higher than that, all right? It's possible. So the square root then of 4, and this is our little square root sign here, all right, is 2. Why is it? Because 2 multiplied by 2 will give me 4, all right? Therefore, the square root of 4 is the number 2, all right? The square root of 9, another square number, is 3. Why? Because 3 multiplied by 3 gives us 9. The square root of 36 is the number 6, because 6 multiplied by 6 is 36. So again, we are seeing that the square root of a number is a number when multiplied by itself gives us the initial number, right? Again, that's a mouthful, but it's something that you have to think about a little bit. We recognize our square numbers, and then we know by our times tables what multiplied by what gives me that number, right? If I put the number 30 on the board, for example, you have to be able to know that 30 is not a square number, and at this level, you will not be able to give us the square root for that, all right? Not at SEA, right? So you are going to have to memorize those square numbers and memorize their square roots along with them, okay? So that's our advice to you, is to learn of those first 13, 14 square numbers and their square roots, all right? It's really easy once you know your timetable, right? You need to practice with your timetable and just get them down. All right? So again, just one or two more examples. This is a nice one, the number 100, right? The square root of 100 is 10, right? Because 10 by 10 gives us 100. 10 by 10 is, the number 10 multiplied by itself. Therefore, the square root of 100 is 10, okay? And so on and so forth. So I hope everybody's with us today, right? You can watch this video back as many times as you want, right? You can even watch it a square number of times. You can watch it 4 times, right? You can watch it 9 times, and so on and so forth until you get it down in your mind. All right, so we have a nice question here, like a sample type question, a section 1 question that deals with our knowledge of square numbers, all right? And we happen to have a square as a symbol denoting a number multiplied by itself, giving us a product of 81. So if you do know the answer to this question, right, what is the number when multiplied by itself will give us 81, right? Hint, it was just featured a while ago in our sequence question, but this is another way that they can test your knowledge of square numbers, all right? It can be in the form of a sequence, but more often than not, it will be asked in a different way, all right? That sequence question just happened to test our knowledge of square numbers. Many of the other sequence questions that we did, we had to look for another pattern. There were different patterns. Please rewatch that video on our number sequences on the Facebook page. And so we do have a caller right now on the line. And good evening. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi.
Hi, and who am I speaking with this afternoon?
You're speaking with Adrian Anthony.
Okay, and I'll just ask you and all the callers to please lower the volume on your TVs when you're calling, all right? So can you tell me what number multiplied by itself will give me a product of 81?
9.
9, right, very good. And you knew that because you know your 9 times table, all right? Is that true?
Yeah.
All right, and just by the way, did you know your square numbers already? Were you aware of them? Did you know them by heart? Or do you have to learn them still?
Yeah, I know all of them.
You know all of them. All right, excellent. Well, thank you, and thanks so much for calling. All right, so we have a young caller there who's ahead of the game. He already knows the square numbers that he ought to know. And, right, the answer here is 9, all right? 9 multiplied by 9 would give us 81. So that square symbol is representing our number 9. All right, great. So we have here another question on the board. I just want you all to get a close look at it, and I am going to take a break for about 2 minutes, and we're going to come back and we're going to have the lines open, and you all will please call us with your answers, all right? I'm going to read out the question just once before we go to break. The square root of 36 plus 4 is equal to some number, take away 20, all right? So we just went from way easy to a bit more challenging. So I'm going to come back after the break, and hopefully one of you will have the answer for my question. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to C Results on IBN TV. And we just took a very short pause, and I hope that you all would have had ample time to figure out the answer to this question. So we want to know what number is missing there in that little block. All right, so the numbers are up on our screen. We're dealing with square numbers right now. And this is a question that tests our knowledge of square numbers. And I have a caller on the line already. Good evening. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Good evening. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Hello?
Okay, you need to lower down the volume on the TV
Hello?
set, please.
Good day.
Hi, good day. And who am I speaking with?
Okay, yeah. The answer is 10.
The answer is 10. Are you sure about that? Caller?
Yes?
Right. But first of all, what's your name?
Aditya Joseph.
Okay, and welcome to the show. So you're saying that the answer is 10. How did you arrive at that?
Because the square root of 36 is 6.
Okay.
And when you add that to 5, you would get 10. And you have 20 on the other side. So when you subtract 10 from 20, you will get 10 again.
You're sure about that? When you subtract 10 from 20, you get 10 again? So you're telling me that 10 is supposed to come in this box here in order to get 10 on this side?
Yeah.
Or what number should go in that box that would give me 10 when I subtract it? Is 10 take away 20? 10?
Yeah, the answer is 10.
All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for calling. You are very, very, very near to getting the answer there, but you made one mistake. All right? It's not that we have a 20 in front and we have a subtract and a box here, right? In which case, you would be very correct in saying that the missing number was 10. All right? Because we want our left-hand side of this problem, of this equation, to be equal to our right-hand side. So what number needs to go into the box to get us a 10 on the right-hand side? I do have another caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to C Results on IBN TV. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Shania Martin.
Welcome, Shania Martin. I have seen you've been working very hard on our C Results Edmodo page. Welcome to the program. And can you tell me what number is missing?
30.
Excellent. How did you know that it's 30?
Because the square root of 36 is 6,
Yes.
and 6 plus 4 equals 10.
Right.
And 10, and that's a 10 plus 20 equals 30. I should take away 30 from 20.
Well done, Shania. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for that call. Great
Thank
job.
you.
All right. So her logic there is faultless, and our previous caller was on the right track. He knew that on the left-hand side, you know, the square root of 36 is 6. Added to 4 gives us a 10. So we want to get 10 on the other side of the equation in order for it to balance, all right? One side must be equal to the other. Once we have that equal sign there. So using his knowledge of square roots, and Shania using her knowledge of square roots, she knew that the square root of 36 is 6. Added to the 4 is 10. So what number subtract 20 gives us 10? All right? And the answer is, of course, 30. All right? The answer is, of course, 30. So I do commend our previous caller for being on the right track. All right? Unfortunately, however, if he had put that 10 there as the answer for his essay, he may have been awarded some marks, but he will not have been awarded the total mark at all, all right? Because unless he had enough working there to demonstrate where his thought process was going. But ultimately, the correct answer is 30, all right? So well done, Shania. And we're moving on now to our next question. The lines are open again, all right? So parents, I know some of you might be a bit surprised to see something looking like, like algebra that you would have done in high school. But, these kids are clever. So this is actually from a sample paper, from a practice paper, and we have to find the value of m, all right? The number whose square root, when added to 4 squared, gives us an answer of 25. What number has a square root when added to 4 squared that will give us an answer of 25? So square and square root being tested all at once now. And I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. And who am I speaking with?
Sarah Singh.
Okay, and welcome to the program. Do you have an answer for us for the value of m? So the square root of m plus 4 squared gives us 25. What number is missing? What number is m there? So you can have a look at the screen and tell us what ideas are popping into your head right now.
The answer is 17.
17. Okay, and how did you get that 17?
Well, when I did form, when I got a little bit confused because of the 2.
Because of the 2.
So
All
now
right.
I realize it's 4 multiplied by 4, which will be 16,
Right.
and 25 subtract 16
Uh-huh.
would leave me with a different answer,
Which would be, you're doing very well, eh? So keep going, keep going. The 25 subtract the 16 will give you how much?
9.
9, all right? So this,
So the answer would be 3.
Okay.
Because 9 is the answer for M, but I see in here. Oh.
all right. So the square root of some number is the number 9. You're quite correct, right? Because something added to 16 gives me 25, all right? And you are saying that 9 added to 16 is 25, not so?
Yeah.
Right, but I want to know the square root of what number is 9?
3.
No, the square root of 9 is 3. But what number gives us a square root of 9? It'll be a bigger number than 9. I'm giving you a hint there. Think about it.
81.
81. Well done. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is what it's all about here on See Results on IBN TV, all right? So the answer is 81, all right? So thank you so much for that call and for sticking it through and soldiering on with us. We really do appreciate that. You are very courageous, and your parents, mommy, auntie, grandmother, granddad, whoever is with you, well done for doing that on live television, all right? So let's break this down for the viewers out there, because this is a tough one, all right? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. We know we have a problem here, that the square root of some number added to 4 squared gives me an answer of 25. All right? So let's replace this here with a little box. Added to 16 is equal to 25. Now, what number added to 16 gives me an answer of 25? As the caller rightly said, we have to subtract this 16 from the 25, or do the reverse or the opposite operation to find out what that is, all right? So what we would have to do now is to subtract, all right? 25 take away 16, which gives us an answer of 9, all right? An answer of 9. But what is this little box here holding or place holding for us? The square root of m, right? The square root of m is equal to 9. the square root of a number, m, whatever that is, gives us an answer of 9. Okay, so she said that the answer first was 3. All right, but we don't have here that the square root of m is equal to 3, in which case the answer would have been 9. M would have been 9. We want to know what number gives us a square root of 9. All right, and the easy way to do that is to multiply the number by itself. So if the square root of a number is 9, the number of itself has to be 9 by 9. All right, because we know that the square root of a number is the number which, when multiplied by itself, gives us back the original number. And in that case, it would have been 81. All right? So if I were to rewrite this all now for us, we'll see it come together very nicely. All right? We have the square root of 81 plus 4 squared is equal to 25. Is that a correct statement? Let's check. What is the square root of 81? It is 9. What is 4 squared? Well, we know 4 by 4 is equal to 16. Let us add the 9 and the 16, and we're going to get an answer of 25. All right? So we match up this and this over here, and that's how we know that that m, which is the number below the square root sign, is in fact an 81. All right? So this was a toughie, and I do thank our caller for sticking it out with us and for getting that answer out with us as well. All right? So the answer is 81. And I bet that if this question comes in an exam or something very similar, that this young caller will be thinking twice now about what the right answer is. All right? So today we've had 2 callers thinking along the right lines, tripping up at the last step. And that's fine, because we are all about refining what you know. I know that you all know a lot. You have been learning. You have been studying from kindergarten into infants all the way through standard 1 to 4. Some of you are currently in standard 4, and we welcome you to watch. I've met parents who have told us that there are even younger kids who are locked on and looking at the program with us. We welcome you all. All right, but we are dedicated here to getting our 4th and 5th standard students ready for that SEA exam, all right? So that's all right. You're stumbling, we will help you, we will catch you and help you to get to the right problem and the right strategy for answering our questions, all right? So this is yet another sample type question from one of those SEA preparation booklets. And it's representative of what would come actually in your SEA exam. So we have here a flow chart that takes us from the number m all the way to an answer of 4 after we carry out some operations on that number m. And we want to be able to find out what the number m itself is. All right? So we have a number m. We square the number. We add 4 to the number, we divide by 5, and we get a final answer of 4. So we want to know what number we could substitute here, or that we can replace this m with, that when we square it, we add 4 to it, we divide it by 5, we're going to end up with an answer of 4. All right? So that is a lot of reasoning that you have to put into this one here, but there's actually a nice way for us to do it without becoming confused, without going all the way to the top. All right, we can start from the answer itself and work our way back. So please jot it down quickly, take a little picture with your phone, whatever it is you need to do. We are going to take a break now for the Maghrib Adhan, and then we'll be back. We'll wrap up this question, which will end our lesson on square numbers and square roots. All right, I'll have a little chat with you parents about the Edmodo app for those of you who haven't yet subscribed. And then we'll have another short break and move on to English Language Arts. So do try to arrive at an answer for this at home in the meantime, all right? For those of you who won't be performing the prayer, especially, you all have some extra time. So I'll see you all back after the adhan. Okay, good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to C Results on IBN TV, and we are streaming on our C Results Facebook page and the IBN TV Facebook page. I left you all with a question before we went to the Maghrib Adhan, and I also noticed we received some messages about how people can enroll for our online class, right, to do our quizzes and assignments that evaluate the work that we are doing every week. So I'm going to take one call, and then I'll give you with a little breakdown on how to sign up. So I do have a caller on the line. Good evening. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Hi,
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Micah George.
Okay, welcome, Micah George. I have also been seeing you working hard on our Edmodo page, so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Do you have an answer for us?
Yes, I got 4.
M is 4.
Yeah,
And how did you get that 4?
I did the opposite. So I started from the answer, which is 4,
Yeah.
and I did the opposite of divide, and I multiplied. So I did 4 times 4. I got 20, and then I did I subtract 4. I got 16, and then I did the square root of that, and I got 4.
Wow, Micah, congratulations and well done. That is very well done. Thank you so much for the call. All right, and I know that there are a lot of adults who would have struggled with this question as well, all right? So we just did the operations in reverse, all right? So the number was squared, 4 was added to it, it was divided by 5, and therefore we got an answer of 4, so we have to retrace our steps. So whereas we divided by 5, we're going to multiply the 4 by 5 now, which gives us 20, all right? Whereas we added 4, we're going to subtract the 4 now, which would give us 16, and we had to square the number to jump from here to here, all right? So now we're going to find the square root instead, right? Is 16 a square number? Yes, it is a square number. So we know our square root of 16 is equal to 4. And let's just run it back all the way down. We get 4 squared is 16. Added to 4 is 20. And 20 divided by 5 is going to give us an answer of 4. So excellently done. Well done, Micah. Great, great, great work. You have been paying attention. All right. And in wrapping up for today, parents, those of you who are messaging and inquiring, all right, you're going to go onto www.edmodo.com, edmodo.com. This information is also available on our Facebook page. You can click on the website link in the About tab, and you can sign up there. Otherwise, you can go to edmodo.com and then sign up your child as a student, right? And you can also register as a parent, and our access code is 6KJQ3Y. 6KJQ3Y, okay? So edmodo.com, and you enter this code when you are logging in, when you are signing up as a student. Do sign up your students. It's optional for you to sign up as a parent as well. The main thing is to get the students registered. All right, and you can monitor them on the devices. The parenting account is optional, okay? And you can actually go to the website at edmodo.com. You can also download the app on your devices, your mobile devices. But for best functionality, I would recommend using the website, okay? But of course, there's also the availability of the app. And that is it for me for today. We have completed now square numbers and square roots of numbers, and we're going to move on from the number stream on Thursday when we do maths again, God willing, back into measurement, and we're going to start dealing with perimeter, area, and volume, okay? So don't go anywhere. We have our English language arts segment coming up. On this website, by the way, we have evaluations for everything, for the maths, for the English, and for the creative writing, and you will be joined at 6 p.m. today by Ms. Nyla, who will be doing the English language arts segment. Thank you to all of our callers who've called, to all of you who are viewing, for those of you who share and continue to share our page and our live stream, and of course to our sponsors who are making this all possible. Thank you to everyone, and stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly with English language arts. Stay tuned.
I'm a cool kid. You're a cool kid. We are cool kids. Are you a cool kid? Every day I want it. I need to drink lots of it. Full of fruit, vitamin C. Give me lots of it. My imagination is growing and so am I. I'm getting big. So give me fruit of cool kids. It's so juicy. So I could touch the sky.
Become a cool kid now by visiting www.fruitycoolkids.com.
Keep refreshed with Oasis Premium Purified Water. Now available in more thirst-quenching options. 330 ml, 600 ml, 1.5 liter, and 5 liters. Choose the size that fits you best. Grab one today. Fruta, taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome to See Results. You are live with us right here on IBN. And of course, those of you joining us on our See Results page on Facebook and on IBN TV live stream as well, welcome one and all. So today, you have just completed mathematics. That was a very, intense episode there. A lot to gain from that. And now we are going to be doing English language arts. So we're going to get straight into it. So far, we have covered spelling, we have covered punctuation and capitalization, and now we are still in section 1, task 3. There are only 3 tasks in section 1, so this is now the last task. So in section 1, this task here, grammar, we have to find that one grammatical error in every line in the passage and underline that error and write the correct version in the box provided. So far, we have completed quite a number of pieces, and we had a lot of callers calling, some with mostly correct answers, but we are thankful for those of you who make little mistakes along the way, so that you will be able to recognize those mistakes early as possible. It not only benefits you, but it benefits a lot of us, because a lot of us sometimes make the same mistake, right? So I still encourage you to call. This is where we help you get motivated and ready for SEA exam. I know it's holiday time, you want to relax a little bit, but here's a great opportunity for you to relax at home and watch an educational program where you can benefit for you and your parents. So for today's passage, we're going to start reading what we have here. So we're going to read it twice as we usually do, and then I'm going to underline the errors for you and write that correction, and we're going to go through each error line by line, analyzing it and find out why exactly it is an error and how to rectify or correct that error. So read together with me. Right? Canines are useful animals who provide humans with a wide range of services. They are the first defense against crime elements. While some detect illegal drugs or deter criminals, others serve in rescue operations. The police service can get rid of neither its canine unit or its dog trainers. Seeing eye dogs are trained deliberate to guide blind persons. Now, do not jump straight into it, guys. Take your time. I need you to reread that piece, this passage here. Carefully look at it. Think about what your options are in terms of finding that error, and then begin to underline. So let's look at the first line together here. I'm just going to give you a minute to read that through. Right, so let's look at line 1. Canines are useful animals who provide humans with A. Now, think about it. What do you see? What error do you come across there? What is your grammatical error? If you have chosen who, you are correct. Now, what is the correction to who? We have which or that. Coming from your relative pronouns, which we will get into a little while from now. Moving on to line 2. Wide range of services. They are the first defense against. How many of you know the answer for this one? How many of you selected off? What should it really be? Off, right? So we have off and we have off. Just now again, we'll find out the difference between those two words. Moving on, let's go to line 3. So what we can do here, we can just simply go back to the line above or to the previous line so we can reread the sentence or read this together to make it one sentence. They are the first defense against crime elements, while some detect illegal drugs or deter criminals. Now, why I find it helpful to go back to the beginning of that sentence there, so it helps make sense. It puts it all together. So reading it as a complete sentence will help you to quickly find that error and to understand what you are reading as well. Now, what's your error here? Crime. But what is wrong with the word crime? What should it really be? Criminal. Criminal elements. So I'm just going to probably write this here a little better than that. Right. Great. Excuse my handwriting, guys. Moving on to your next line here. So far, you have 3 answers. You underlined 3 errors. If you have gotten all correct so far, congratulations, guys. That is 6 marks in the bank. We want to achieve a total of 12 marks in this section. Be careful to choose your answers wisely and to put your correct answers. Moving on, let's go, guys. Others serves in rescue operations. So again, we can go back to the previous line here, and we can read this as an entire sentence. While some detect illegal drugs or deter criminals, others serves in rescue operations. The police service can get rid of. What is your error here? Serves should actually be serve. Right? So far, so good. Next line. The police service can get rid of neither its canine unit or its dog trainers. Seeing eye dogs are. Spot any errors so far? If you selected or, once more, give yourself a clap. It's actually no. And we did a little bit of neither nor last day. Right? But don't worry, if you did not see last day's episode, we are going to do a recap of it to help you understand why the answer is no rather than or. Right, we are on the final line here. Seeing eye dogs are trained deliberate to guide blind persons. Your error here, deliberate, should actually be deliberately. Good. Okay, guys, I hope that is actually 12 marks in your bank there. If you got that, you can give yourself a little clap. Maybe mommy can give you a pat on your back. Well done, right? Now, let us first understand why the first line here, the answer is which or that rather than who. So let's just reread this to recap. Canines are useful animals. We can actually have 2 answers here. Which or that provide humans with a. Now, you know that who, which, and that are all relative pronouns. So in dealing with relative pronouns, you need to know, first of all, what are your relative pronouns, and you need to know when to use which relative pronoun. So let's look here. Now, this is a recap for a lot of you, but nothing is wrong with a recap. A lot of times we get similar questions and we tend to forget these simple little things. So, you know, the more reinforcement we get, it's much better for us. So let's keep in mind these are the 5 relative pronouns that we are focusing on here. We have who, used to refer to persons. We have whom, used to refer to persons again. So both who and whom, we use them to refer to persons. whose used to show possession, which used to refer to animals and things, and we have that used to refer to people, animals, and things. Now notice here with that, we say this is used to refer to people. While that is correct, when we are referring to people, we want to refrain from using the relative pronoun that. Instead, we want to go to who and whom. So in looking back at this first line here, we have canines are useful animals. Who should really be which or that, because canines are dogs, they are not people, so we will not use who or whom to refer to canines. Instead, we will use which or that, which can be used instead of who, because canines, once again, are not humans or people, so we cannot use who. Now, this is not the first time we have been doing relative pronouns, so I hope that you have been following on using your relative pronouns in your writing, whether it's ELA or creative writing more so. What I have behind me here, a short exercise. So we're going to open up the lines. Now that you know all of your relative pronouns, we are going to use those relative pronouns to fit them in the sentences here. Just bear in mind, these are the relative pronouns we are focusing on, just these 5. These 5 are going to be used in the following slide. We can only use the relative pronouns once, right? So each one is going to be used once. So the lines are open. Call us up, guys. Let's look at the sentences here and fit in the appropriate relative pronoun. Remember, again, this is just practice for you. Help you get in the habit of using your relative pronouns properly and suitably. I know a lot of you have problems with who and whom. I was even asked to do a second lesson with who and whom, which I will do sometime in the near future, okay? But don't worry about it. But for now, we can just practice using the relative pronouns in the sentences that we have here. So let's look at sentence number 1. I'm sure something you'll pass the exams. Bear in mind, what are the 5 relative pronouns we are using? And if you forgot, here's a quick glance again. We have who, whom, which, that, and whose. Now, let's see. We have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Good evening. Number 1
Yes.
will be that.
That. Very good. Thank you so much for calling. So that answer is very correct. So we have the relative pronoun that. Guys, just remember when you're calling us to listen to my voice on your cell phone rather than the television set, okay? There's a little delay in your call when you listen to the television set. You have a second call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
If you need assistance.
Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Good afternoon. The answer is whom.
Can you spell it for me?
W-H-O-M.
Thank you so much. Whom? Thank you for that call.
W-H-O-M.
Yes. Thank you. Great. So just remember to give us your names when you're calling. We'd like to, you know, acknowledge all of our callers. We are really grateful for all the participants and the great followers and submissions, especially on our Edmodo page. And I will tell you a little bit more about the Edmodo app a little later on, right? Let's continue with our relative pronouns here. We are on sentence number 3. This is a lifeguard. Now you are seeing a box here. Just ignore that box. Doesn't serve any purpose there. That was put in error. So this is a lifeguard. Something saved me. Which relative pronoun are we going to use here? Okay, so I'm just going to do this one while we are waiting on some calls there. This is a lifeguard. Who? Who saved me? Great. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, welcome to See Results. What's your name?
Zafira.
Hi, nice to have you with us. So we're looking at number 4 now. Can you tell us which relative pronoun to use in the sentence here?
The answer is which.
Which. The driver told us which. So, seeing that we use which and that interchangeably, could we have used that in this sentence here? Would it make sense if we use a relative pronoun that? Okay, I think we lost that call there. But guys, like I was saying, you can use which and that interchangeably. However, in this case, it is very specific to the relative pronoun which. Similarly, as a number 1 to specific to the relative pronoun that. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
David.
Nice to have you with us. We are looking at sentence number 5 here. Can you give us the relative pronoun here?
The telephone number blocking the last word.
Okay, so I'm going to read that sentence for you there. There goes the man, something, phone got stolen. There goes the man, something, phone got stolen.
Whose phone?
Sorry?
Whose?
Very good. Thank you so much for calling. Excellent job, guys. So notice we use all 5 relative pronouns in our sentences here. We all use them differently, especially that and which. I tried to show you there how we can use those 2 specific relative pronouns specific to a sentence, not only like in the sample piece that we are doing, where you can use that or which as your answer. Now, let's go back. Let's look at the second error here. We said that the second error was off, O-double-F. We have off and we have off. Off and off. While the spelling is different, the pronunciation is also different, right? Now, this is a tricky one. A lot of times, students use these words incorrectly. So you need to know when to use OFF and when to use OF. In this case here, it required OF rather than O-double-F. Now, we must understand why. So both of those words, off and off, are prepositions. And we know that a preposition is a word that connects one thing with another, showing how they are related. It shows the relationship between things. Last day, we even looked at a couple of prepositions. Some prepositions tell you about position or place. A preposition is usually followed by a noun or a pronoun. This is a simple guideline here to help you identify prepositions in a sentence, in a paragraph, or whatever task you may have dealing with prepositions, right? So now here, I have another list for you. This is different from the one that I provided last day. This is actually a little longer. And as you can see here, you have a lot of prepositions. And the list doesn't stop here. It actually is very much longer than this. So I just provided a couple more examples for you to get familiar with your prepositions. If it's the first time you're seeing some of these, like throughout or within or following or towards, jot them down and use them in a sentence. And that will help you to understand the use of that preposition in the sentence, right? As well as you will remember it. What always helps me if I need to remember something, I write. Writing is a way that helps me to remember. Maybe it can work for you as well. Great. So now we get into the difference between off and off. We have OF here, which is used to show possession, belonging, or origin. Now look at these 3 examples I have provided for you here. We have Aliyah is a friend of mine. Possession. Aliyah is a friend of mine. Notice the use of off. He is of Chinese descent. Origin. That sentence shows origin. Andrea is a member of the swim team. Belonging. She belongs to the swim team. So OF actually has a lot of use. You can use it very differently. It's according to the context. And remember, this is not limited here. It is according to the context you are writing. Similarly, with OFF, it is also a preposition. It can be used as an adverb, even as an adjective. And I can even tell you a verb and so on. But I'm not going to get into all those usage. I'm just going to show you how OFF can be used as a preposition, as we saw in that sample piece, and an adverb. So let's look here. OFF as a preposition. It is used, or you can say, moving away and often down from. So that's the use of that preposition there. Moving away and often down from. Look at the example here. He fell off the chair. Where did he fall? Off the chair. Shows you moving away and often down from. The bandits took off before the police arrived. Notice the spelling and use of that word rather than OF. Now, let's look at the use of OFF as an adverb. Now, we have been learning about adverbs, and we know that adverbs modify verbs. And we have done quite a lot of sentences and activities with adverbs as well. Right? So, OFF as an adverb. Away from the place in question, to or at a distance. So, it can also be used in this context. Let's look at the example to help us understand it a little bit better. The man ran off. He whipped off his coat. So here is describing how he took off his coat. And the man ran off. That is describing here how the person ran. So notice the difference between off as a preposition and as an adverb. However, in your passage that we were just doing, it is used as an adverb. What they want you to do there, what they are trying to identify is that you can be able to tell the difference between off and off. So you must know that. It always comes. Even when we are writing, sometimes we stop and we think, should it be OFF or should it be OF? Please, guys, learn the difference between both words or prepositions in that case. Now, I just did like a summary of the differences between the word off and off. So now I'm going to give you a little test here and see how many of you can use OFF or OF correctly in a sentence. So here's your chance to actually test yourself if you're having problems with OFF and OF. Here's a chance to test yourself and see, what you have learned from that short summary there. So the lines are open, guys. Feel free to call us. I really want you to call us and give us the answers for these sentences in particular. It's a very tricky, right? So just be mindful of the usage of OFF and OF once more. Let's look at sentence 1 there. He is a part owner. Sorry. Hi, we have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results. Sorry? Spell it, please.
OF.
OF. Very good. Thank you so much for that call. So the caller is correct there. He is a part of our team. So here it shows belonging. I have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
David.
Nice to have you again with us. We are on number 2 now. Can you read that sentence and spell the correct version of the word off for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Kate rolled off the bed.
Yeah. Spell that for me.
OFF.
Excellent job. OFF. It shows you here position or place. Thank you so much for that call. Now,
Okay.
I do apologize. So now we are looking at number 3. The plane will take off, OF or OFF shortly. Number 4, what are you thinking? We know what the answer is going to be, either one of the two, right? Or number 5 there, Tom fell, OF or OFF, his bicycle. We have a call on the line. Hi, good evening, welcome to C Results.
Good evening.
Hi, what's your name?
Micah George.
Nice to have you with us today. So we are on
Thank you.
We are on number 3 now. Can you read that sentence for me as well as give me the correct spelling there? Or the suitable
The
spelling?
plane will take off shortly. OFF.
Excellent job. OFF. Thank you so much for that call. So even if you are not calling or you are joining us live on Facebook, I hope you are taking note of the differences between OF and OFF as well as testing yourself. Okay, we have a call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results.
You like that.
Hi, good evening, caller.
Yes, I think it is O-F.
O-F. And what's your name, caller?
Apollonia.
Great. Well, your answer is correct, and thank you so much for calling us. Right? Just a reminder, when you are calling, lower the volume on your television sets. Right, guys? And remember to listen to me on your cell phone rather than your television set. Thank you so much for that call. So we have one more sentence here. And we have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Tara.
Nice to have you with us, Tara. So we are on number 5 there. Can you give me the correct spelling?
O-F-F.
Excellent job. O-F-F. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so great, guys. All of these were correct on your first try. If you didn't get a chance to call us, don't worry. We have a lot more activities coming up. So, of course, stay tuned with us, right? Now, we are going back to this piece here. We are on the third, actually, error, which we selected to be crime. Now, how did we get criminal from the word crime? So they are the first defense against criminal elements. So notice, this should actually be criminal elements. So you will read it now, read the correct form of the word. They are the first defense against criminal elements. If you read it as they're the first defense against crime elements, it might make some sense to you, but we need the proper form of the word there. So now we have crime elements, but we got criminal. So we want to change the form of the word. Now we have been doing this a lot, and we have been doing some activities as well, where you change nouns to verbs, or verbs to adjectives, and adjectives to adjectives. So now for this one here, we have another activity where you can call us and give us your answers. In our brackets, we have nouns, and then we want to change them or use that noun to form the correct form of the word suitable for the sentence, which they will all be adjectives. Notice it doesn't follow a specific pattern. The words are mixed. So, for instance, if I have anger here, it will not be the same spelling for allergy, if you understand what I mean. Maybe when we get some answers coming in, I can explain that a little better to you. So we are going to use the nouns in brackets to help us complete that sentence, but we must change that noun into an adjective, just as we did here with crime and criminal. So now we're going to look at the sentences here. The lines are open, of course. You're going to read that sentence to me, and you're going to give me the new word or your adjective form of that noun. Great. You have a call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to See Results.
I think I probably have the wrong number. I'm trying to get onto Baraka Grounds.
It's not Baraka Grounds, but you are live on See Results. So they can probably take this call off air, right? Thank you. Okay. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a second there. Right, so again, we are looking at the sentences. Think about your answers, guys. Start writing them down. Let's see if you get them correct. The aim is to get each and every answer correct. Remember, we want total in section 1 of your paper. In section 1, there are 3 different tasks. You have spelling, which is worth 12 marks. We have punctuation and capitalization, 6. And then we have grammar, what we are doing right now, 12 marks. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi, is that...
Hi, welcome to See Results. What's your name?
Which number?
We are looking at number 1. What's your name? Can you give me your name first?
My name is Javed.
Okay, great. So we are on number 1, Javed. It was a something night, and we're using a noun star, but we want to change star into an adjective. What will be the adjective form of that word?
I wasn't sure, but it's star-filled.
Say that again for me.
Star-filled.
No, will not be star-filled. Rather, it will be, I don't know how familiar some of you are with this word here, but I wanted to introduce it to your vocabulary. So that's kind of why I put in this word starry. So it will actually read, it was a starry night. It's a word that you will get accustomed to when you start reading novels, I hope some of you are already doing that, and you are describing a night filled of stars or filled with stars. Great. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, we are on number 2 now. Can you give me your name?
Zafira Abash.
Nice to have you with us. So, number 2. I was something about the rumors. What will your adjective be there?
Angry.
Angry. Excellent job. I was angry about the rumors. Thank you so much for that call. Great. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Yusuf Mohammed.
Nice to have you with us. Are you getting ready for SEA, Yusuf?
Yes.
Okay. How confident do you feel about your SEA exam so far?
Plenty.
Plenty. Okay, great. That's what we want, right? So we're on sentence number 3 there. So my sister is something to cats, and we have the noun allergy.
Allergic.
Allergic. Can you say that again for me?
Allergic.
Allergic. Can you spell the word allergic?
Allergic.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call. So allergic. My sister is allergic to cats. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to See Results.
Yes.
Hi. So we're on sentence 4. Can you give me your name?
Hello.
Hi. Can you kindly just turn down your volume on the television set a bit, please? Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Sydney.
Hi, Sydney. So we're on number 4. So can you read that sentence to me and give me the adjective form of that word there?
They live a luxurious lifestyle.
Great. Can you spell the word luxurious now?
Luxurious.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call. Right. So that's quite correct there. Luxurious lifestyle. We have a final call on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, welcome to See Results. You are live with us. Muddy. Can you spell the word muddy for me? Can you spell that word for me? Okay, I'm not sure if we lost that call there, but the caller was correct anyway. Muddy. Now, what I want you to note, however, pay attention to the spelling of each of these words here. Notice in the noun form, it is spelled differently when it is in actually the adjective form. So you must pay attention to the spelling change when you are changing it from one form to another, as in this case where we change it from a noun to an adjective, or we use the base word here to form another word. So we're just going to ease up on the calls for a little bit until we get to our next activity. But thank you guys so much for calling. And as I was saying, pay attention to the spelling changes. Now, a lot of these rules here, for example, muddy or starry, we came across when we were doing the spelling aspect when we just started section 1 of the paper. We covered quite a lot of rules there, which you can apply when you are learning or revising your spelling. Now, for those of you, if this is your first time joining us, I must say welcome, but also I encourage you, go back to our See Results page on Facebook and rewatch those videos from the very beginning. Get acquainted, get familiar with all the content that we have covered. Everything that we have done so far is aligned with the curriculum, as well as it is helping us get ready for the SEA exam. All of it is relevant to what the SEA exam is all about, right? So please, you can go back to the See Results page. Also, if you are joining us on IBN and you do watch us from the IBN channel, what you can do, Look out for reruns every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Right, guys? Nice. So we are on here now. The fourth error. So we said the error here was serves. Rather, it's supposed to be serve. Now, why? A lot of you are kind of ready to think of the reason why it is serve rather than serves. Let's read the sentence together and let's see. While some detect illegal drugs or deter criminals, others serve in rescue operations. Notice here we have others being plural. Plural subject will take a plural verb. And for those of you who do not remember, you know that plural verbs do not end with S. That is actually singular verbs. That's very tricky. A lot of students get mixed up with that. But I encourage you to revise and revise and revise some more. All of those rules are very pertinent for SEA. Now, that which falls under subject and verb agreements. We had a lot of rules so far falling under subject and verb agreements. I can think of at least 17 rules that students will actually have to become familiar with, and I hope that we can cover all of those sometime before SEA that you have to learn and you must be aware of, right? So in order to get these 1-mark questions or 2-mark questions to earn those marks. So we know that a plural subject will use a plural verb in a present tense. Similarly, a singular subject will use a singular verb. So, but for the example that we just provided, the answer was actually a plural verb. Hence the reason why I am focusing on plural verbs right now. A plural verb does not end with S. As I was saying before, very tricky. Your verbs in your plural form do not end with S. Those are nouns. Your nouns in your plural form may end with S. So do not mix up both of those, okay? So as you can see the examples here, the men drive to work, men here being plural, and the children sing lustily, the children also plural, so sing will be your plural verb there. Okay guys, so we're just going to take a short break and we'll be right back with some more activities in our grammar session today.
I'm a cool kid, you're a cool kid, we are cool kids, are you a cool kid? Every day I want it, I need to drink lots of it, full of fruit, vitamin C, give me lots of it. My imagination is growing and so am I. I'm getting big, so give me fruit of cool kids, it's so juicy, so I could touch the sky.
Become a cool kid now by visiting www.fruiticoolkids.com.
Keep refreshed with Oasis Premium Purified Water. Now available in more thirst-quenching options. 330 ml, 600 ml, 1.5 liter, and 5 liters. Choose the size that fits you best. Grab one today.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta.
High blood pressure is as dangerous as an overpumped balloon. Measuring your blood pressure every day can save you from risk of high blood pressure. MicroLife fully automatic upper arm blood pressure monitor with stroke risk detection. MicroLife AFib screens for atrial fibrillation while taking your blood pressure. High blood pressure and atrial fibrillation are both considered controllable risk factors for stroke. If AFib is present during blood pressure measurement, the AFib icon is displayed flashing at the end of the triple measurement. Once 3 measurements are complete, the measurement data are shown on the display. MicroLife, a partner for people, for life.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome back guys. If you are joining us right before the break, we looked at a sample piece for the grammar aspect or grammar task in section 1 of the ELA paper, and there we identified the errors as well as we are correcting the errors. in correcting the errors, we are looking at each error carefully. We are going through rules associated with these errors and anything that you may need to know to change or to fix that error. So before the break, we were on subject-verb agreement. We're speaking about a plural subject will use a plural verb, as well as a singular subject will use a singular verb. Those are two very common rules we always get. We are always tested on them. Sometimes it's easy for us to slip up, make little mistakes there, right? First thing you must do, identify your subject. You must note whether it's singular or plural, and then you can choose your verb according to your subject. So the lines are open once again. We have another activity here. And the reason I'm doing so many activities with each error that we find is that so that students will have more practice. You know, we might do this 10 times, and then there is at least 5 students or 4 students who might get the answer incorrect still. So we must practice what we are learning as well. Great. We have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, what's your name? Thank you for joining us.
Naveen.
Hi. So we are on number 1 here. So you have to read that sentence for me and give me the correct verb, correct form of the verb there.
Growl.
Okay, so the dogs growl at the stranger. Why is it growl and not growls?
Because dogs is the plural.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for calling. So right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So just a note here, caller, very correct. Dogs here, your subject, and that subject is plural. A plural subject would always take a plural verb. We have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining us again. We're on number 2. Can you read that sentence and give us the correct form of the verb there?
The nurses march for better working conditions.
Thank you so much. Your answer is correct. The nurses march for better working conditions. Once more, your subject here is plural, more than one nurse. And hence the reason we choose march. We have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello, my name is Maya.
Hi, Maya. Are you ready for SEA?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's see. Number 3 here. We have, can you give us the correct answer?
The answer is scan.
Scan. Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call. So for helicopters, notice here, helicopters, plural, scan the village. Great. We have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Tara.
Okay, nice to have you again with us. So we're on number 4 now. This is a tricky one here. Let me see if you can get this one correct. And I'm confident that you can, okay? So let's try. Go ahead and say that for me. Excellent job. Can you give me an explanation, however? Why is it
because the cow and the horse are 2 things.
Excellent job. Very good. Thank you so much for that call. So those of you who said is, pay attention carefully why it is are and not is. We have the cow and the horse here. Yes, we have 2 animals, so that makes it plural. Another reason, it is joined by and, or the conjunction and here. When we have 2 subjects joined by and, we go with the plural form of the verb. However, I will be doing some more practice on this, on subject-verb agreement using and probably later on another session, right? So those of you who got that one correct, congratulations to you. I intentionally threw that in there for you. So now we are number 5. I have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. What's your name?
Ariana.
Hi, Ariana. So we're looking at number 5 now.
Okay.
So read it for me and you can give me the correct form of the verb there.
The parents and teachers meet on Tuesday afternoon.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call. Right, guys. So we have parents, plural, teachers, plural, right? Your subject is plural, hence the reason we chose a plural verb. Very simple rule to remember. The best way to remember it is to practice it. It's one thing to know something. Only way you can really get a firm grip on it is to actually practice. Nice. So we're on now line 5, or the 5th error here, which we said we replaced or with no. Now, why did we replace or with no? Last day, we came in subject-verb agreement again. We came across neither, no, and then we had either, or. So if you were following last day, you already knew the answer for this, right? Those of you, if you missed last episode for some reason and you didn't get a chance to rewatch it as yet, neither is followed by no, and either is followed by or. And of course, we have off and so on. But in this case, we're talking about either, or neither, no. And also, there are rules associated with either or and neither no, which you also need to know. So, for example, the structure neither nor is used to connect the same kind of words or phrases in a sentence. Neither makes a negative statement about two people or things. Now, let's look at the examples here so we can better understand what we mean by neither nor. Neither Jack nor Tom is my brother. A point to note here, your rule, you look at the subject closest to your verb. So you have your verb here, and here you have your subject. You always look at your subject closest to your verb so that you will be able to choose which verb to use, whether it's singular or plural. In this case, your subject is singular, so you use a singular verb. Let's look at the example number 2. We have neither he nor his friends are coming. Pay attention to this one. He, we know that's singular. The subject is singular. But then we have another subject in the sentence. His friends, being plural. So what do we do in a case like this when we have a subject which is singular and we have a subject which is plural? In this case, we always look at the subject closest to the verb. The subject closest to the verb. I repeat that. We always, when using neither nor or either or, look at the subject closest to the verb. While we have he and we have his friends, two subjects, we look at the subject closest to the verb. Hence the reason we chose are instead of is. His friends are coming, not his friends is coming. Okay, guys? Very important to note there. And again, once more, lines are open. We have another activity for you here to get some practice in using neither, nor, and either, or. Look at these sentences closely. Remember, we are looking at the subject closest to the verb. Which subject will be closest to the verb? You have to know, and you have to be able to identify the subject or subjects in the sentence. We have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to C Results.
Okay, so the answer is were.
Were. Okay, can you give me your name?
Celine.
Hi. Okay, so you're correct. Thank you so much for calling and giving us that answer. Now, let's look at it closely. Those of you who selected were, good job. And if you selected was, let's see why it is not was. Neither the boys nor their friends was or were needed at the booth. And we said neither the boys nor their friends were needed at the booth. In this case, we have boys being plural, their friends being plural. In this case, both of your subjects are plural, so we'll use a plural verb. Simple enough, right? We have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Selena.
Hi, Selena. Where are you calling us from?
Saparia.
Okay, Selena. So we're on number 2 now. Can you read that sentence and give me the correct answer there?
Either Celine or her brother wants to visit the zoo.
Which answer? The first one or second?
Second.
Second. Thank you so much for your call. Now, let's see if she is correct. We have Either Celine or her brother wants to visit the zoo. So she is indeed correct, simply because Celine here, your first subject, singular, her brother, also singular. Singular subject will take a singular verb. So thank you, Celine, for that call. Notice the mix here. So far we had subjects which were both plural, subjects were both singular. Let's see if we get something different now. Hi, good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Marian Hannibal.
Where are you calling us from?
St. Augustine.
Okay, and will you be writing SCA exam come April 2020?
No.
What class are you in?
Standard 4.
Standard 4. Well, great. That's so good to have you with us. So we're on sentence number 3 now. Can you read that sentence and give us the correct answer? Caller, are you there? Okay, I'm seeing that we have another call on the line. I'm going to take that. Hi, caller. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Michaela.
Hi, Michaela. Where are you calling us from?
Oh.
Sorry? Michaela, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from home.
From home. Okay, and where is home? East, west, north, south?
I'm not.
All right. So, Michaela, are you writing SCA exam next year?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. So, we're on number 3 here. Can you help us with number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's read it. Neither
Neither the bird nor the snake was fed on the last week.
fed on time.
Yeah.
Okay, don't go as yet. I want to explain something for you. To you, sorry. So first, let us identify the subjects in the sentence. There are 2 subjects in the sentence. Can you tell me the first subject in the sentence or point out that first subject for me?
Bird.
The birds. Is the bird singular or is it plural?
Plural.
Plural. What's your second subject here?
The snake.
Snakes. Is the snake singular or is it plural?
Plural.
Right. So we have 2 plural subjects. So a plural subject will go with what kind of verb? Singular or plural?
Plural.
Plural. So which form of these words here, was or were, is plural? Which one is plural here? Can you say that again? Were. Excellent. So were here is plural. Was is actually singular. Right? So I hope you understood that. Thank you so much for calling. Those of you at home, if you made the same error, I hope you understood that the subjects here, the birds, the snakes, both of them are plural, hence the reason we chose a plural verb. What I will do, as I came across that error there, sometime in the future, I think we'll do a lesson on was or were and am and is and so on, right, on auxiliary verbs. We have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sanju Mohammed and I'm calling from Marabella.
Nice to have you with us. Great energy. So we are looking at number 4 here. So you want to read that sentence for us and give us...
Neither the girl nor the boy plays fairly.
What's your answer?
The answer is plays because the girl and the boy is singular, so it needs to be followed by a singular verb.
What's the verb you chose? Spell it for me.
Plays, P-L-A-Y-S.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call. So once again, singular subject, both of them singular, followed by a singular verb. Thank you so much, caller. We have a final call on the line there. We could probably zoom in this a little bit and I see number 5 on your screen there. I'm going to take this call. Hi, welcome. Okay. Great. Welcome to See Results.
Hello, my name is Roshan Basant, and the answer for number 5
Yeah?
Is has,
Has. Tell me why.
because either Penny or he is singular.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for that call.
You're welcome.
So you see, guys, at home, parents and students, you see why it is important for you to practice the rules that you are learning so you can put them to use in your writing or even be able to identify them in simple sentences such as these. Now, we are running out of time, but I am going to finish this last error here. So let's quickly look at this. So we have deliberate here. Instead, it's actually adverb deliberately. This is another case where we put a noun or use a noun or base form of a word to form a new word, just like crime and criminal, deliberate and deliberately. Okay, guys? So I hope you understood all that we did. If you just joined us halfway or almost to the end, remember, once the video has ended, you can rewatch this video, as well as you can rewatch videos from the very beginning of this program. And those of you at home, you can rewatch these videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. I just want to take this time and opportunity to say thank you to all students who have been submitting work on Edmodo. You all have been doing great. Just as Sir Ijaz highlighted, some really great results there, and this is what we want to see. We want to see results. Remember, the idea is to see results with see results, right, guys? Join us right here tomorrow, again, 5 p.m. for creative writing and English language arts. I have been your ELA teacher, Miss Nyla, and I will see you tomorrow, God's willing. Do have a pleasant afternoon, and see you tomorrow, guys.